Hi everyone. Today I would like to address climate change and the effect that it is having on people's mental health. But first, there is an important news story I would like to share with you. Finally, there is a mental health hotline for farmers, which is now live. It is accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, in English and French. Farmers can call 1-866-267-6255 to speak to a counselor. Farmers can access up to 4 free counseling sessions annually. When farmers call in, they need to go through an intake process to arrange counseling sessions with mental health professionals. These professionals have received special training to understand the unique needs of Ontario farmers. The hotline is jointly funded by the provincial and federal governments through the Farmer Wellness Initiative. The hotline was created and launched by the Ontario Division of the Canadian Mental Health Association in partnership with the Ontario Federation of Agriculture, or OFA, and is provided by LifeWorks. It provides farmers across the province with free counseling services and helps to connect at-risk farmers with tailored support and resources. This is a greatly welcome service in rural Ontario, Peggy Brickveld, the Ontario Federation of Agriculture's president, said in a news release. The availability of mental health services has been seen as a big roadblock standing between farmers and their mental wellness. The telephone line is a first step in a process that will add more access points over the coming weeks and months for Ontario farmers and their families to take positive action to support their mental health. In the coming days, the Ontario Federation of Agriculture stated that an accompanying website and smartphone app will be released that will have thousands of self-guided support resources. Now let's move on to the impact of climate change on mental health. Ask a young person what they're most concerned about for the future, and there's a good chance they'll point to climate change. In fact, 75% of people see the future as frightening, according to a recent survey that asked 10,000 individuals aged 16 to 25 about their feelings on climate change. Eco-anxiety, a term that describes a chronic fear of environmental doom, is just the beginning of how the effects of global warming can harm our mental health. An alarming new report from the American Psychological Association, or APA, has discovered links between climate change and serious mental health concerns. These concerns range from depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, to schizophrenia. Now let's take a closer look at the ways that climate change is putting people's mental health in peril and expert recommendations for addressing those concerns. With climate change causing an increase in extreme weather events, with severe hurricanes, flooding, and wildfires, researchers have been studying the impact of these disasters on survivors. One of their findings is that PTSD has been one of the most frequently reported mental health outcomes following a natural disaster. Can you imagine driving away from home as quickly as you can with a blazing fire in the rearview mirror, unsure if your home will survive? This is truly a very dramatic event to go through, only to find out that your home and all your personal belongings and memories have been destroyed. This is beyond a devastating loss, explains Andrea Didinger, a licensed marriage and family therapist based in San Francisco. She explains that climate-fueled events can push the nervous system beyond its ability to regulate. For many people, the sympathetic nervous system gets stuck in the on position, leaving your body overstimulated and unable to calm down, and is prepared to fight, flight, or freeze, she adds. Worse yet, treatment for PTSD may not be available for a survivor suffering from a disastrous weather event. The individual may be left without a home, a job, and the ability to pay for care. While some people can recover from PTSD in as little as 6 months, 3 individuals affected by natural disasters may experience the condition for years or maybe longer. High temperatures resulting from climate change are more than physical discomforts. They're psychological stressors. A growing body of research is finding links between increased heat and troubling mental health outcomes, including schizophrenia and vascular dementia. This is indeed a concern given that several studies have indicated that an increase in temperature not only results in a change of mood and anxiety disorders, but can result in potential suicide, says Reggie Ferreira, PhD Associate Professor at the Tulane University School of Social Work and Program Director of the university's Disaster Resilience Leadership Academy. The APA has reported through research that there's a greater use of emergency mental health services, such as for a suicide attempt, with increases in mean temperature. Extreme temperatures require patience and the ability for a person to not just regulate their body temperature, but also regulate their mood. When regulating body temperature is not a possibility, it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain mindfulness in the moment and can fuel anxiety, says Dinger. Over the long term, this can cause traditional coping strategies to become less effective and require individuals to find new ways to manage stress. As climate change continues to impact our planet, we should expect to see rising levels of depression, according to the APA report. Research has shown that depression overcomes a greater risk when people have survived a natural disaster, been exposed to urban pollution, or dealt with unwanted changes to their environments. In addition, it can cause other collateral damage, such as job loss and decreased infrastructure, which results in increased rates of depression, adds Julian Lagoy, MD, a psychiatrist with MindPath Health. There is even some evidence that simply reading about climate change could lead to depression. That suggests that everyone, including those who don't feel that they are directly impacted by global warming, may face mental health risks as climate change endures and continues to be a focus in news reports. Raising awareness about mental health and resilience is essential to mitigate the impact of climate change on the mental health of the population. Cultivating resilience and practicing self-care activities and healthy lifestyle habits is the best way to prepare ourselves to face hardships and unfavorable circumstances, says Roanne Hamaded, MFC Associate Project Coordinator at Project Hope, which is a global health and humanitarian relief organization that often works in communities impacted by climate crisis. Her thoughts align with the conclusions of the American Psychological Association, which says that encouraging resilience is key for reducing the risk of mental health problems from climate change. That could involve deepening social connections, developing a sense of optimism, and adding items of personal significance like spiritual tools, favorite foods, into disaster preparedness plans, among other strategies. Resilience teaches us to persevere despite all the stressors. It teaches us to be in control of the situation rather than only affected by it. It gives us the power to overcome, adds Dr. Lagoy. If climate change is affecting your mental health, consider reaching out for help from a professional therapist if one is available to you. Dr. Ferreira points to the Disaster Distress Helpline, 1-800-985-5990, and the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255, as additional resources for support. So what are the key takeaways from all this? A recent survey found that 75% of teens and young adults feel frightened about the future due to climate change. Anxiety is just one mental health impact of climate change, which has also been linked to post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and serious mood disorders. Experts say that cultivating resilience at both the individual and the community level will be key to mitigating the mental health impact of climate change. So what does this mean for you? As climate change becomes a greater presence in our lives, rates of eco-anxiety are continuing to climb. But worries about the future are just the beginning of the ways global warming is impacting our mental health. Experts say that building resilience will be an important way for individuals and communities to reduce the risk of mental health problems from climate change. Strategies will include finding a sense of optimism, deepening personal relationships, and incorporating meaningful items into emergency preparedness plans. Therapists and distress hotlines can also be sources of additional support for those in crisis. If you are new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button down below. It is completely free to do so, and it really helps out my channel. Also, if you like the news and educational videos and find them helpful, please hit the like button down below as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and we will talk to you again very soon. Bye for now.